Everton have had a rough time of it in recent years with back-to-back relegation battles, a club that is historically one of the bigger clubs in England. I'm going to see if I can take the club that I love back to those heights. I'm going to see if we can win some domestic trophies. I'm going to see if we can continue qualifying for Europe. I'm going to see if in 5 seasons I am able to bring us back to being the best club on Merseyside. Here we are at Everton. As I said, it is a historic club. They've won 9 Premier Leagues, 1 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, 5 FA Cups, 1 Championship, don't really care about that, and 9 Community Shields. So you've got 3.5-star reputation, along with 4.5-star training and youth facilities, and 3.5-star youth recruitment. Estimated value of the club is £520 million. We're rich and the owner loves the club. If we take a look, we can actually see that the owner of the club is Dan Friedkin. We have the Friedkin group in, so we are going to see how we can do with them. In terms of competitions, I am using an updated database. This starts just after the transfer window goes. We're sitting in the 16th place in the Premier League. If we take a look, 5 wins, 8 draws, 9 losses. We're already 7 points clear of relegation, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue getting out of that relegation battle. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and we can start pushing on. So really, this is going to be a 4.5-star rebuild. So, January transfer window's been and gone. As you can see, we've got £38 million in the bank. That'll be held off till the summer, thankfully. In terms of tactics, we are going to be running with my Flying Scotsman's meta 4-4-1-1. I ran it with Rangers in a previous rebuild. I'll link that below to the tactic and that rebuild so you can see how it gets on. The only player I am putting in place is Nathan Patterson on the attack and wing back, because I want him bombing up and down this right hand side, and we're going to have the inverted winger coming inside, creating space for him. That's all we're going to do. As we can see, we are through to the next round of the FA Cup. We're knocked out of the Carabao Cup. 16th in the league. Fast forward to the end of the season. See how we get on with no transfers, just the base squad as is. So in the 5th round of the FA Cup at home, we managed to beat Bolton 2-0 quite convincingly. Goals in the 30th and 66th minute meant we were on our way to the 6th round. And in the 6th round, or the quarter-finals, we unfortunately came up against Fulham away from home, and we went and lost 3-1 at Craven Cottage. But that's not what matters. We are here to secure Premier League survival and get up the table. And we did. We managed to survive. We finished 15th place with 11 wins, 11 draws, 16 losses to finish on 44 points. 17 points clear the relegation zone as Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton all go down. So it's been a good seasonal round. If we take a look at the kind of stats, these will be a bit skewed because obviously it doesn't properly factor in the start of the season. So Calvert-Lewin with 7 goals, 2 assists. Jesper Lindstrom with 7 goals as well. We'll look to see if we can get him on a permanent, but the goals were really sparse. The rest of the side, not brilliant. Nathan Patterson locked him in, 1 goal, 2 assists. Again, I'd like to see be seen a bit more from there. In terms of some of the loan players we have, if we take a look, we'll get Carlos Alcaraz, Jesper Lindstrom and Orel Mangala. I'm not sure if we can be able to keep any of them, in all honesty. It just depends what kind of budgets we've got, how it factors in with the rest of the squad. And in terms of budgets, we have £60 million to spend, and we have around £200,000 in the wage budget, so it's looking okay. 15th in the Premier League, we've survived. Now it's really time to push on, get to the start of season 2, show you how we've spent the money, how we've reshaped that squad a bit, hopefully push on into some European places over the next season. Transfer wise, we let a lot of players go. So first up to leave the door is Michael Keane to Freiburg in Germany for £3.2 million. All Evertonians will know we want him at the door. I've got just over £3 million for him, so that's a brilliant sale. Next up is Mason Holgate. We've managed to sell to Middlesbrough for £5 million, rising to £6 million. We have pulled our pants down with that deal because he is not good enough for the Premier League. Roman Dixon's also away to Nottingham Forest for £1.8 to £2.8 million. I did want to keep Dixon around, but he wanted to leave, and I just couldn't keep him happy, so he's away to Nottingham Forest. Neil Maupay's away for £17.5 million, rising to £20 million to Aston Villa. I'm just glad to get him out the door. Cannot stand the man as an Evertonian myself. And Calvert-Lewin's unfortunately away, £31 million, rising to £40 million. He didn't want to sign a new contract. His contract was coming up. I thought, get the money in while you can, and also he isn't the greatest striker. In FM he can play really well, but he is injury prone. He's 27. He didn't want to sign a new contract, so it was best to just cash in while I could. And on the ends, we spent £15 million on Carlos Alcaraz. He'll be a great player, already valued between £39 and £52 million. With a £15 million outlay, I thought that was a great one to bring in. Potential ability according to us, 4.5 stars, so good pickup so far. We've also brought Richarlison back to the club, cult hero for many. £18 million to bring him back in from Tottenham, valued between £30 and £30 million. He's 27 years old, but for £18 million, I think he'll do really well for us. We also managed to sign Marcus Leonardo in on loan from Al Hilal. He will be absolutely amazing for us, I think. If I continue to use the setup I do, he will be a baller for us. We also signed Hugo Felix from Benfica for £7.5 million, the younger brother of João. He's currently away on loan to Stoke, but he's already worth between £32 and £37 million, so he's already potentially making a £30 million £25, £30 million profit for us, so brilliant if we do keep him, or if we go to sell him for a profit. Joe Scally came in from Gladbach, 21-year-old American, can play both right back and left back, can play the wing back positions. Absolutely brilliant. He cost £22 million, already again nearly doubled his transfer value. Smart business there. And we need another centre back in Tosin Adarbayo, came in from Chelsea for £7.5 million. Can play with both feet, he's strong, got good jumping reach. He'll be a backup, but good cheap player, only on £78,000 per week as well for a backup, which isn't too bad in the Premier League. Bilal El Khanous has come in from relegated Leicester. He can play a variety of positions, good young player, hopefully fit in for us, and hopefully we can buy him in the years to come. And we've also brought in Robin van Duiven in on loan just to see what he's kind of about. He looks like he could develop into a decent wee player. We'll see how he does. So £73 million spent, £59 million on the outgoings. As you can see, there are a few other players that I didn't mention, you know, your Isaac Heaths, your Tylers, Metcalfs, they all went for minimal fees, so I didn't really see the need to talk about them. We're trying to see how the season started so far. So far, if we take a look, it's gone quite well. Cups, nothing yet, but we've won 3 of our 4 games so far. We've managed to beat Tottenham, West Brom and Bournemouth, and we have lost the 1 game to Fulham, who seem to be our enemies at the moment, putting us in the cup last year. But 9 points already, sitting in 4th is a great start to the season. If we take a look at the formation, we're going to be going with the Meta 442 Diamond that will be out on the channel later this week. As you can see, you can take a look at the roles, etc. just now. The only thing I'm going to do is I am again going to lock in Nathan Patterson at right back. But if I was to pick the best 11 without restriction, it would be Pickford in goal, Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikolenko at the back, Garner in the DM slot, Guy and Doucouré in front of him, McNeil at the point of the diamond, and then Leonardo and Richarlison. So as I said, the only player that I'm going to be locking in will be Nathan Patterson, because I want to see how he develops. As a Scotsman, I'm a bit biased, but there we are. So that's how we have started Season 2. So let's fast forward to the end of the year and see if we can get into European places. Can we lift a trophy? Let's see. Just a quick interruption by me. If you're enjoying this content, you want to get your hands on any of the rebuild files, so the end of season 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 at the end. If you're not a Patreon member, link will be below, or if you want, you can become a channel member here as well. Both help me out massively as a creator, let me do my passion, start building a bit more of a community as well. Both of these options will get you the rebuild files, you get all the tactic files as well, you'll get absolutely everything that we use. So come and join in. Thanks. Back to the video. And in the FA Cup final at Wembley against Newcastle United, we were 5-0 up at half time. 2 goals from Marcus Leonardo, a goal from Tarkowski, a goal from McNeil and 1 from El Khanous meant with a 5-0 lead at half time, there was no coming back. We managed to lift the FA Cup in our 2nd season. Unfortunately, it was a quarter-final exit in the League Cup to Tottenham Hotspur, but as we can see on the left hand side, we have qualified for the Champions League, finishing in 4th place with a record of 20 wins, 9 draws, 9 losses. Golden for 27, 69 points. Absolutely amazing season all round. And if you look on the right hand side, Richarlison with 29 goals, he had the 2nd highest average assists with 7.4. Player of the matches, he had 8, joint top with Haaland and Saka. In terms of assists, Mikolenko at left back with 12. This has been an absolutely brilliant season. If we take a look overall, actually the player overview, most goals, we've got Leonardo in there with 16 in the league as well, as Richarlison up top 29. Most assists, obviously we saw Mikolenko, few conceded, we're not actually on the list, which is a bit disappointing to see, but we've done it. We've finished 4th, qualified for the Champions League. We'll take a look at the squad, see kind of what numbers they're doing. In terms of goals, Richarlison, 38 goals, 7 assists across the season. This man was a brilliant pickup. 43 games played, 30 goals, 7 assists, 7.47 average rating across the season. Absolutely amazing. You probably doubted me when I brought him back, but this man scores goals. And if you look, Leonardo with 24 as well, Dwight McNeil 10 goals, 11 assists, and then there was a bit of a drop off. Beto managed to get 7, El Khanous with 5, Jared Branthwaite with 5 as well, Doucouré with 4, Patterson locked in right back, not as good as I wanted, 3 goals, 5 assists. I was expecting a wee bit more, especially when Mikolenko down here has 14 assists this season. I thought Patterson would be putting up the similar sort of numbers. We might need to tweak that and change that, unfortunately. But as I said, brilliant all-round season. Finished 4th in the league, won the FA Cup, so we've already got a trophy in the bag like I wanted. We've already qualified again for Europe. And for that European campaign, we have £50 million to spend, with about between £100,000 and £200,000 wage budget, so there need to be some movement there. There we go. We'll go to the end of the transfer window, see exactly how we've managed to spend this money. Have we managed to strengthen enough to hold on to that FA Cup and continue qualifying for Europe, as well as maybe push forward into the knockouts in Europe? Let's see how Season 3 will go. So we have spent that money. Bilal El Khanous is coming for £27 million from Leicester after a successful loan period last year. Great player for us, he'll do well, especially as he's only 21 years old. We also picked up the option on Van Duyven. He was only £3 million, so I thought, why not? If we actually take a look how he did for us, he only played a handful of games for us, scored 1 goal, got 1 assist, but in the under-21s he played 14 times, scored 11 goals, so there is something there, there is something that could be good about him. He's all actually dropped to 3.5 star potential, so maybe not, but he's only 19, we'll give him that chance, we'll give him time to grow. Evan Nielsen has come in on loan as well from Bournemouth. Loan fee of £1.5 million, so nothing at all basically. We have an option to buy £36 million if we win the Premier League. We're not going to win the Premier League, I don't think, but you know, we might be able to pick him up next season. He's only valued at £30 million, so we might be able to pick him up depending on how Bournemouth do and what our finances are like. Leif Davis has also come in for £11.5 million from Wolves. I actually tried to sign him when Ipswich got relegated, but he went to Wolves for £60 million because he told me he didn't think he would get game time here. He went to Wolves and started 4 games. So we've bought him for less money than we would have last summer, so it's a win-win. I just wanted somebody to challenge Mikalenko on the left-hand side. We went back to Bournemouth and picked up Marcos Senesi for £18 million, the Argentinian centre-back. Really good pickup, really good all-round attributes. He'll be really good. He'll probably be a fringe player, rotation option, but at £18 million you can't really sniff at that. And Marcus Leonardo has come in again on loan. Unfortunately, the option to buy him is £136 million. I didn't put that in. They wouldn't let me loan him unless I put an optional fee in, so there he is. We're not going to sign him for £136 million, but he played really well for us last year. As we see, 24 goals, 7 assists, so a player on loan of his calibre I think will do really well. As you can see, we made £2 million in the loans. Iberi, Laban, Morgan, Barnsley, Tremitty's away on loan, and Eli Campbell's away on loan, so nobody really left of note, so that's why I didn't really cover that. But if we go and we can see actually we have been the runners-up in the FA Community Shield. Unfortunately lost out to Arsenal penalties. After a 2-2 draw we had Evan Nielsen, McNeil scoring for us, Bukayo Saka scoring in the 9th minute of injury time, took it to penalties. Unfortunately they've beat us in penalties, we really should have won that. We were 2-0 up, lost in penalties after an equaliser in the last minute. It's just the Community Shield though, so no real loss. The Carabao Cup, we have Aston Villa in the 3rd round, not in the FA Cup yet. Champions League, we're in the league phase, I will show you those fixtures in a wee second. And we have started the league relatively well. Played 3, beat Burnley 5-1, beat Southampton 1-0 to be on 6 points. And we'll now look at the Champions League fixtures. So in the Champions League, we will be taking on Dinamo Kiev, Red Bull Salzburg, AC Milan, Napoli, Nice, Feyenoord, and then a double header against German opposition, Bayern Munich and Dortmund. Overall, that's a pretty tough set of fixtures for our first time back. We'd be looking to buy the midway point. Probably already have got enough points to get there with the first 2 games there against Kiev and Red Bull Salzburg. No disrespect to them, but I would be expecting something there. I'd be expecting 6 points to be honest, especially with that run-in. But tactically, we are going with near enough the same. We're going with the diamond again. The only players I'm locking in are Nathan Patterson. I'm actually having to lock Richarlison in as the advanced playmaker. It's not his best position, but I need to get Evan Nielsen and Marcus Leonardo in as well. And look at that Brazilian front 3 essentially, they should score buckets load for us. If we actually look at the pick without restriction best 11, it goes Pickford, Scally, Adebayo, Branthwaite, Mikalenko, Irabunum in the defensive midfield slot with Garner and Doucouré in the midfield too, McNeil as the advanced playmaker, and Evan Nielsen and Richarlison as the striker. So I wanted to get Leonardo in there, which is why I set it the way it was. So there we go, let's roll on. Season 3, can we do anything in Europe? Can we hold on to a cup? And will our league form stay as it was? So unfortunately in the Champions League phase we finished 32nd and did not qualify. If we look at the results, it just wasn't good enough. A 0-0 draw away in Ukraine to Dynamo Kiev, a 2-0 loss to Salzburg. I was expecting 6 points here, we've got 1. We lost 2-1 at home to AC Milan. We drew with Napoli 1 each, Leonardo rescuing that point in the 92nd minute. 2-2 draw with Nice, a 0-0 draw with Feyenoord, and then we lost 3-1 to Bayern Munich and lost 4-2 to Borussia Dortmund. So as we saw, unfortunately, we finished down 32nd with 4 draws and 4 losses. Not good enough at all for wanting to progress at all in Europe, and it wasn't much better in the Cups. 3rd round exit to Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup, quarter-final exit to Aston Villa in the FA Cup, so we couldn't retain our trophy. But if we look at the Premier League, we did manage to qualify for the Champions League again, finishing in 5th place this year, 18 wins, 8 draws, 12 losses, to finish on 62 points. So we did drop off, we finished a position lower, but that's to be expected when you're playing at least those 8 Champions League games. In terms of player stats, if we take a look, in terms of goals, Leonardo with 18, Richarlison with 14 and Evan Nielsen with 12, so between the 3 of them I'd maybe expect a wee bit more. Branthwaite actually managed to get 10 goals, and in terms of the assists, we've got McNeil with 13, Nathan Patterson with 11 assists this year. That's what I was wanting to see from him the last 2 seasons. I was wanting to see him getting more assists, getting further up that field, providing that width. Mikalenko with 6 assists as well, and Joe Scally with 7 when he played. In terms of, obviously, the new signings, we can see Leif Davis only started 2 games, but he was there for competition for Mikalenko. Mikalenko's beat him out there. The loan signings, obviously, Marcus Leonardo 18 goals, as we saw, and Evan Nielsen with 12, so they'll probably, if I can, I'll try and keep them. Hugo Felix made 4 sub appearances this year, didn't go on loan. Van Duyven only played the 2 games. Alcaraz 3 starts, 15 sub appearances, so some of the signings aren't great. Marcos Sensi 9 starts, 21 sub appearances, done okay, but we'll see. In terms of finances this year, we have £96.9 million to spend. We're pretty much maxed out in the wage budget, but we've got that money to spend if we need it. Let's see if we can spend this near £100 million transfer war chest. The main departure to talk about where Abdoulaye Doucouré has left to go to Montpellier in a free transfer. He was getting on, 33 years old, he was on high wages. I thought, just get him off the books, we've got better midfielders in the squad, and we've signed some so you can see. And the most gutting one was James Garner to Manchester City. He left for £54 million, rising to £69 million potentially. Gutting to see, but with that sort of money, he was always going to go. He wanted to go, I just couldn't keep him, and for that money, I mean, we had around £150 million to spend, but I struggled to spend that money. I did spend £27.5 million on Evan Nielsen. Had a reasonable season for us on loan last year, so I thought, for that fee, I'll bring him in, especially he's both footed, play up top, brilliant. As you can see, he's only got 1 appearance and 3 goals for us so far at the start of this season. We signed Profundi, the Italian wonder kid, for £22 million from Udinese, already valued between £73 and £84 million, so we're already making £50 to £60 million profit on him if we were to sell him. Again, reasonable start, 3 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. He will be the business for us. And the only other signing was Omega Dad's favourite, Frank Kessie, in on a free transfer, valued now between £42 and £52 million. Really solid DM or central midfielder. He'll be able to cover a variety of positions and roles for us in the Diamond 4-4-2. So again, another really good pickup. Only 29 years old, already capped nearly 100 times by the Ivory Coast. His contract ran out in Saudi Arabia. He's on £110,000 a week. Approached him at the start of the window and he obviously asked for 600 grand. Nobody picked him up on that, so I snuck in and picked him up for £110,000 a week. He is the Doucouré replacement, and my god, he is much better. So we've started off, as you would kind of expect, Carabao Cup. We are against Stockport County in the 3rd round, not played that yet. FA Cup, nothing yet. Champions League, we're in the league phase again. I will show you the fixtures. Fingers crossed we get better than last season. In the Premier League, it's been a perfect start. We beat West Ham 4-2, 2 goals from Richarlison, 1 from Irabunum and 1 from McNeil. We also beat Nottingham Forest 1-0, Simon Profundi with the late goal. Battered Chelsea at the Bridge 3-0, Dwight McNeil, Frank Kessie and El Canous 3-0 winners. And we beat Aston Villa 4-2. A hat-trick from Evan Nielsen and a goal from Beto in the dying minutes meant we had made it 4 wins from 4, which means in the Premier League, as we can see, we are joint top with the other Merseyside Reds. And in the Champions League this year, we have Nice again, we've got Rangers, we've got PSG, Dortmund again, Arsenal, Inter Milan, Braga and Club Brugge. This is harder than last year. It's already a harder set of fixtures than last year, but I think this time with Braga and Club Brugge at the end, we're hoping to pick up those 6 points there, because I don't think we'll have enough up until that point. But there we have it. That is the start of this season. Can we continue in the league in this form? Can we pick up a cup? Can we get to the knockouts in Europe? Well, let's go. We agonisingly lost out in the EFL Cup final at Wembley, losing 1-0 to Aston Villa. As we can see here, we had a shit ton of bookings, so we were already on the back foot. 1-0 loss in the cup final, unfortunate, but we made it to the FA Cup final, so we had a second derby at Wembley against Southampton, and unfortunately Southampton took the lead on the 14th minute in Buemo, putting the ball past Pickford before Irabunum picks up the ball and he loses it to Musa before Musa puts in Brereton Diaz, and that's 2-0 to Southampton after 25 minutes. They are 2-0 to the good, but then in the 31st minute, Patterson to Irabunum. Patterson switches the ball in, Mikalenko with a header at the back post, fullback to fullback. We are back in the game, and it wasn't until the 80th minute when pressure from Onyango put the ball to Adebayo, El Canous, Evan Nielsen, brings it home to make it 2-2 in the 80th minute, and then in the 85th minute, Joe Scally plays it to Adebayo, plays a long ball to Evan Nielsen over the top. Evan Nielsen manages to just smash it past Ramsdale, and we have won the FA Cup for a second time. 3-2 winners over Southampton. That is 2 trophies in the bag for this Everton side. We made it hard for ourselves, 2 goals in the final 10 minutes, and we managed to pick up that trophy. And in the league phase of the Champions League this year, we didn't just do better and qualify, we finished in 4th with 20 points. We managed to beat Club Brugge, Braga, Inter, Arsenal, Dortmund and Rangers, and drew twice to PSG and Nice. We did not lose a game in this league phase. To go from the previous season not winning a game, drawing few and losing loads, we've gone unbeaten in the league phase. And that is what I always love to see about this game. From one season to the next, you can turn your fortune around. And in the last 16, our potential European rivals, Dortmund, as we're playing them for a 3rd time in 2 years, we beat them 1-0 away in Dortmund, a goal thanks to Joe Scally. And in the return leg, we beat them 2-0 at Bramley Moor. Goals from Dwight McNeil and Adebayo meant we put Dortmund out 3-0 on aggregate, and we are marching on to the quarter-finals, where we came up against our Merseyside rivals Liverpool. Unfortunately, we lost 1-0 in the home leg. A goal from Andy Robertson, and in the away leg, unfortunately, we lost 2-0. Ryan Gravenberch opened the score in 12 minutes. Richarlison equalised on the night, but Victor Osimhen scored in the 60th minute, meaning we have lost out 3-1 on aggregate. But we've made it to the last 8 of the Champions League, but it's gutting to go out to our Merseyside rivals. In the Premier League, we finished 5th again. 20 wins, 5 draws, 13 lost, 265 points. As you can see, Nathan Patterson, 14 assists this season. He is doing what I wanted. 8 goals and 26 assists. As you can see, he played right wing back because we did switch up the system in the second half of the season. Our key players we have got Evan Nielsen with 23 goals, Pafundi, a brilliant breakout season for him in his first year here, 19 goals and 8 assists, playing as a striker, come on to that. 13 goals, 6 assists from Frank Kessie. Nathan Patterson again, 26 assists this season, Mikalenko with 15. Absolute brilliant season from both players, and as we can see, it is because we are playing Flying Scotsman's perfect 3-4-3. Again, link will be in the description below. As you can see, Patterson's getting the assist because he's now playing as that right wing back. He is getting much further forward and he is dominating for us. So, for the final season, we have £25 million to spend, not as much as last year. We didn't even spend all last year's budget, we're being penalised. In terms of debts, we still have a shit ton of debt, £769 million remaining. So, with that in mind, going into our final season, how will we do? Hopefully we can get a bit more money than £25 million, because that's not really going to be enough to push us on, I don't think. Ndiaye is away for £6.5 million over to the Saudi League. A brilliant player in real life, however, he's never really been that good for us. He's played a handful of games here and there, so £6.5 million, he wanted to go. He wasn't really playing, so I thought, why not bring in some extra money while we can. Robin van Duiven's away on loan to Hull. As you can see, he is getting a bit better. He is starting to progress. Last season he was on loan at QPR, he got 8 goals in 11 starts, so hopefully at Hull he can have a better season, hopefully he can develop, and if you take this on in the Patreon, he can hopefully be a star for you in the future. And lastly, Richarlison's away to El Ittihad for £39.5 million. As you can see, he's 30 years old, he wants £550,000 a week, so why not? But he had a great time of it for us. 38 goals and 7 assists in his first season. Second season, 14 goals, 5 assists, 18 goals and 7 assists in his last season. So his first season was the best. But for what we've paid for him and the profit we've made, no-brainer. Absolute cult hero, came back, done us the business. And for the players coming in, Sebastian Baselli, the 23-year-old Uruguayan, is coming in for £10 million from Milan. Can play all across the back, so thought we need a bit of cover, so bring him in. Good pickup, only 23 years old, he could be here for years to come, or as we can see, he's already valued £30 million, you can sell him for a profit. He is back, this time on a permanent contract. Al Hilal wanted £136 million if we won the league, however, we have paid a grand total of £12 million. He has been here on 2 previous loan spells, spent last season at Al Hilal, but he's here, £12 million, and we have brought Leonardo back to the club. He will be an absolutely sensational player again for us, and an absolute steal at just the £12 million. We've also brought in Valentin Barco to play on that left wing back slot or compete with Mikalenko. He's in on loan, again with a future optional fee, but it is £77 million, so you'll probably not be able to buy that, but you could probably get him for cheaper. Look at that, he is absolutely brilliant. He's not actually played that much for Brighton at all, so you probably will be able to get that for cheaper if possible, so try and do that if you get the Patreon. And the last signing was another centre back. Roger Ibanez came in, valued now between £61 and £67 million, got him for £125,000 a week on a free transfer, 28-year-old Brazilian. absolutely solid at the back, again both food. We're now playing with 3 centre backs, so we need as much cover as we can get. Competitions wise, unfortunately, runners up in the FA Community Shield, no real interest, it's the FA Community Shield. In the Carabao Cup, we beat Coventry 3-0 at the first stage. Everest FA Cup, not drawn yet. Champions League phase, we'll look through those fixtures in a minute. League has not started well though. We've beaten Brighton 4-0, drew with Aston Villa and Arsenal 1 each, and we've lost to Brentford, so we're on 5 points. We're already 7 points off the pace with surprise leaders Tottenham there. Hopefully that can improve, because this is our final season. I do not want to finish down in 11th. In Champions League fixtures this season we have Dunajska Streda, whoever they are, Slovakian team. Amazing for them to get to this stage, but we're picking up 3 points, I'm sorry. We also have Sevilla, PSG again, Marseille, Shakhtar, Olympiacos, Liverpool and RB Leipzig. So I think this time we should again qualify in the top 8, I would imagine, because we have easier fixtures this year than last. So we'll go ahead to the end of the season, our final season at Everton. We've won 2 FA Cups so far, qualified for Europe. Can we win something else? I would like to go out and win either the Premier League or the Champions League. Whether that can happen, I really do not know. Unfortunately, another cup final loss, again to Arsenal and again on penalties. We have lost on penalties in the EFL Cup final after Leonardo levelled it up late on. We're also runs up in the FA Cup final, getting absolutely battered by Tottenham 5-0. It's not looking like a great season. We have been to 3 cup finals, the Community Shield, the FA Cup and the EFL Cup, and we have lost all 3. And in the Champions League phase we have managed to finish in the top 8 again. We managed to beat Streda 2-1. We lost 3-1 to Sevilla, unfortunately, in Spain. Drew 1 each with PSG. Senesi bagging us a goal in the 94th minute to pick up a point. Back and forth tie with Marseille. We managed to win 5-4. Get it up, you Mason. We beat Shakhtar 3-0. Pafunde, Ilkhanous and Erabunum scoring the goals. We battered Olympiacos 5-0. Evan Nielsen, Kessie, double for Marcos Leonardo and an own goal. Liverpool rivals beat us 3-0, unfortunately. But then in the final game against RB Leipzig, Beto scored in the 71st minute, meaning we are going through to the round of 16. As we finished in 8th place in the league phase, 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses, 16 points. We have snuck through to get through to last 16 and skip that playoff tie, where we faced Hoffenheim, and in the first leg away from home we done the business. Ilkhanous, Patterson, Adebayo and Beto putting us to 4-0 winners in the away leg. Some players there that should not be playing every game, but they've done the business, which meant at home a 1-1 draw was enough to see us go through into the last 8, the quarter-final stage yet again, where again we were drawn against Liverpool in the quarter-finals. 1-1 draw away from home in the first leg. Luis Diaz opened the scoring on something like 15 seconds, but Roger Ibanez scored in the 66th minute to take us to Bramley Moore Stadium at 1 apiece, where unfortunately after a 1-1 draw in the night we lost on penalties. This team cannot take penalties. We have been beaten again in a penalty shootout, losing in the last 8 of the Champions League. But how did we do in the Premier League this year? And we've managed to win the Premier League with 74 points, 22 wins, 8 draws, 8 losses. If we look at the player stats, we will see this season Pafunde, 23 goals and 4 assists, absolutely brilliant season for him. He's been an absolutely brilliant pickup overall. And as well, Marcos Leonardo, Evan Nielsen, Ilkhanous, even Beto, all having brilliant seasons. Nathan Patterson playing at the right wing back has been amazing for him. 5 goals, 25 assists this season. He's come on leaps and bounds. Again, goals really well spread out. Same with the assist numbers. So we have it. Final season, 3 runners-up medals, which is disappointing as anything, but we've won the Premier League. So we've won 2 FA Cups and we've won a Premier League in this 4.5 season Everton rebuild. If you want to take this on, you can become a channel member or a Patreon member, and as we take a look at the finals, you will have just shy of £71 million to spend, and the debts are still at £721 million, but they're still backing you, you're still getting a lot of money to spend. You actually have around £400,000 in the wage budget as well, £357,000 wage budget. So if you were to max this out, you get £89 million to spend. So we have it again, absolutely brilliant rebuild in my opinion of Everton. Let me know if you take it on, how you get on, and I'll see you next time.